Here comes the trophy, and this is a very special moment. 6 members from the Busby Babes era are bringing the Premiership trophy out in the year, of course, United celebrated 50 years since their first championship. John Doherty there leading it, Bill Folkes and Jack Crompton carrying the trophy. Wilf McGuinness, Jeff Whitefoot and Albert Scanlon are all also involved, and that's a lovely touch, Paddy, by the club.
Yes, it is. Just looking at Jeff Whitehouse behind them, Steve, the young possibly maybe affected us in Europe, Steve, having players injured. Well, it's fantastic feat.
It's a real team effort, both on the pitch and off the pitch at Manchester United. Here they come then, led by the man who's going to do it for the 9th time. He calls his players behind him. Alex Ferguson experiencing a Premiership win for the 9th time in 15 Premiership seasons. And he's also, of course, as today, been presented with the Barclays Manager of the Year award as well.
What a feat, Steve, what a manager. I mean, I think that every word that possibly has been used about the manager that can be used, I don't think we can add any more to it, can we?
And now these players, and so many of them experiencing this for the very first time, and as the manager has pointed out as well, each and every one of them have played their part along the way. First of all, it's the manager, another medal for his collection. The 1916th championship in their history, Wayne Rooney's very first championship medal. Number 7 for Paul Scholes, a second experience for Rio Ferdinand and for John O'Shea as well, who scored 5 goals along the way. Michael Carrick, what a first season for him. Kieran Richardson with his first Premiership medal. Mikel Silvestre picking one up incredibly for the 5th time. Van der Sar's first. Vidic in his first full season as well. All these people experiencing it. Solskjaer, number 6 league championships. Kuzak's getting one as well. Fletcher played 24 games, his first experience of a league championship. Number 5 for Wes Brown. Alan Smith came back at the end of the season to play a big part too. Louis Saha's goals in the beginning of the season. Patrice Evra. Cristiano Ronaldo, a team medal to go with all his personal honours as well. His first league championship. Same can be said for Gabriel Ainse. Number 9 for Ryan Giggs, who's just received it. And here is the lifelong Manchester United fan, Gary Neville, experiencing a league championship for the 7th time as a player, his first time as the captain, with Ryan Giggs. After a 4-year wait, Manchester United are once again champions of England.
It's fantastic to see 2 of the older ones, Gary and Ryan. Where's Paul? Fantastic. Who thought at the start of the season, Steve, they would win the championship? With the competitors, well, particularly the money that Chelsea have got. But the managers come through again in spite of everybody. And I don't mean everybody here, I mean everybody outside here.
The celebrations after 4 long years without one. 266 days since they beat Fulham here by 5 goals to 1. They can celebrate properly and officially being Premiership champions of England in 2007. And the celebrations now can really begin.
You wouldn't mind being in the middle of them, would you? Looking at Ryan there with 9. Can he make it 10? Of course they can.
Darren Fletcher gets on his hands on his trophy for the first time. So too Kieran Richardson, so too Van der Sar. And that's the real theme. Whilst they've got the people who've got 6 and 7, and in Giggs' case 9, so many of these players getting this experience for the first time. You had it in 65,
67.
Just
trying to think.
Just texting. Can you describe this moment, the first time these players get to lift the league trophy?
Well, it's a fantastic thrill, Steve. Fantastic thrill to do a lap of honour around the pitch. It lasts with you forever. I mean, Ryan Giggs must be getting bored, and I would never get bored. You'll never get bored with it. It's always fantastic.
And the manager's made the point as well, players like Rooney and Ronaldo, with their talent, they deserve to get this kind of feeling as
Well, what's
Premiership
Michael
champions.
Carrick thinking? What is he thinking? Did he think at the beginning of the season that this would happen?
They're all getting a touch of that trophy now as well, and why not? It's been such an effort. In the end, what was 36 games that mattered in a 38-game season. But they've been so consistent, and that is the trophy they wanted when they set out in August. Now they've got it.
Well, I think the thing about it most of all, Steve, it's been great to watch. I think that's what, if you'd ask any football fan, whether a United fan or not, they've been the best team to watch. The football's been exciting. Some of the players have, well, all of them, but 2 or 3 of them have stuck out, well, in positions that you would stick out. Been absolutely fantastic. But at the end of the day, it's a team effort, and the team effort includes, there's 20 players down there, and they've all played a part.
And they're all going to get on the official team picture as well. They're the ones that they'll say that, particularly when they stop playing, the trophy's about to make its entrance in there as well. All that hard work, all that endeavour, and it ends with that picture in the trophy.
Well, that's a picture and the trophy that the fans love to see.
Now the colour can be added to the occasion as well. The champagne corks, which were popped officially last weekend, are going to be in overdrive now. This is where the culprits get the soaking. And these are just images that no money can buy.
Yeah, fantastic scene, Stephen. It's I bet you every player that's on that picture will have the picture of it, they'll have the, well, everything. What a waste of champagne, isn't it?
I was going to say, after nine wins, I think the manager would be a bit quicker at me champagne than that. I think he'd have the knack by now. Ronaldo's first league championship, what a season for him. A Premiership winner, PFA Player of the Year, Sports Writers Player of the Year, and Barclays Player of the Year as well before kick-off. He and Wayne Rooney experiencing this for the first time.
You can't get any happier than that, Steve. Well, possibly maybe next Saturday.
Still the chance to do the double. Those fans will be keeping their fingers crossed that that can be done as well. But as I said, this was the trophy that they wanted when they set out. And now we're going to listen to Alex Ferguson, the manager, on the pitch. So they have the trophy, they have their medals, they have their picture. The players will now embark on the traditional lap of honour, which of course they do around Old Trafford at the end of every season. But this season they'll be doing it with that Premiership trophy firmly in their clutches. Let the champagne begin and let the lap of honour begin. Back to you boys in the studio.
Thanks very much, Steve. Wonderful scenes and a well-earned trophy and well-earned celebrations by the United players. Sammy, how do you sum all that up?
Oh, you can't. I mean, you can just see the look on their faces, the lads, the enjoyment, you know, winning, being champions again. The fans, magnificent reception, and there they are, the players with their families and everything. What a great joy at the moment.
And this, Lou, is only the beginning of the celebrations, really, isn't it, in some ways?
Hope so. I hope there's more next Saturday night around about this time, David, but it'll be a lot tougher game next Saturday, that's for certain, than it was today. I love the full team out, and let's hope we can do the double.
So many wonderful performances and wonderful moments in the season to look back on, and some of these players have worked so hard for this title.
I think there's been great improvement with certain players during the season, and then when the problems came along, players injured, players missing, suspended, we coped with that as well, David, and that's been the big difference. And another massive difference, and it may be the biggest difference of all, is the fact that our manager here has been allowed to manage because he wouldn't stand it any other way. Whereas our biggest threat, Chelsea, their manager has been under pressure, I think almost since the start of the season. Manager after manager been mentioned for his job, and he is a top manager himself. He's brought trophies to Chelsea. Can you imagine that happening at Old Trafford after what Sir Alex has done? You have a bit of a lean spell. I'm not saying Mourinho has it a lean spell, that's what makes it even more sort of surprising and wrong. That the minute one or two results, it's only one or two results go against you, everyone's after your job and everyone's been mentioned for your job, and I think that's done Chelsea big harm this season, whereas the manager here has got on with the job, and as you see, it's all worked out perfectly well.
Big hands from those two. They weren't going to drop that, were they? Wonderful to see these celebrations and the kids, as you say, getting involved there as well. We saw a brief shot there of Alan Smith as well. It must mean a lot to him to be part of this side after all the problem he had with that injury at Anfield.
It's worth all the heartache and all the pain he's suffered trying to get back to full fitness for this moment now. Being a champion, getting a medal. I mean, Alan Smith, this is the last thing on his mind when he had that injury. He was out for that length of time. But it's all rewards now for him. And fair dues to him, he stuck at it and had a right go and got himself back to be a winner with United.
And Steve was saying there about so many players in the squad who are winning their first Premiership today, Lou, picking up their medals for the first time. Such a good feeling for those kind of players, isn't it?
Wonderful feeling, and you just never know in this game, David, whether you'll pick up anything else. Just because you're at Manchester United, it's a bit foolish to assume that, yeah, the trophies are going to come rolling along year in, year out, and you're going to be part of it. A lot of things happen, a lot of strange things happen in football. One minute you're here, next minute you're gone, and you can pick up a bad injury, as we mentioned with Alan Smith. No, you've got to savour these moments, because they just may be one of the few times where you are receiving a trophy.
Michael Carrick always said he was coming here to win things, and first season, have the Premiership.
Yeah, tremendous for the boy. There was a lot of questions asked him when he came here about the price tag and how he was going to settle in. Well, he's just done it, hasn't he? Being a champion and getting his first medal. Fantastic. I think he's improved as the season's gone on.
Certainly one of those players who started off quietly going about his job and has come into the game more with his goals and things like that as well, hasn't he, recently?
Absolutely, yeah. You need a bit of time to settle coming from a new club and coming into Manchester United, with a crowd and the expectation of you. But as I say, he's got better as the season's gone on.
Gary Neville obviously getting injured during the season. We wish him the best with his recovery from that, of course, but great feeling for him to lift the Premiership trophy today.
Wonderful feeling, and I'm sure it'll get even better for him, David, if he makes the cup final next week. I've got my doubts, because when you've been out injured that long, just to come back into any game's tough enough, but a cup final at Wembley, and Sammy and I have both been there, the pitch at Wembley, it saps your stamina, and you really need to be 100% fit. And I think it's a race against time for Gary, and he just may not make it, unfortunately.
Alan Smith there with Darren Fletcher briefly. We saw him there, and he's played such an important part in recent weeks with some of his performances.
Absolutely. Fantastic, But, when you're talking about individuals, as Lou said before, it's been an absolute fantastic squad performance, right through the whole 38 games. We've had our knocks, we've had injuries, we've come back, and Sir Alex must be absolutely delighted with his signings for a young side. And as he says, he thinks there's better to come. We're talking about Ronaldo, we're talking about Rooney with their age. For the next few years now, hopefully they can push Chelsea all the way. It's now Chelsea's got to catch up.
And they've been
not the other way around.
Yeah, there have been times in the season where it's perhaps looked like it was going towards United, sometimes towards Chelsea. But the one thing that's remained consistent throughout the whole time is the team spirit there.
The team spirit, David, and I've felt for a long time now that on our day we've got the better players. We've got more goal scorers in the team, and that was a big help as well.
17 goal scorers in the Premiership this season.
17, yeah. I mean, you look in various positions on the pitch, and they all chipped in with their goals, and it's enough to win you the title. Whereas Chelsea, they relied on Drogba, they relied on Frank Lampard in particular from midfield. And if either of those two didn't score, there wasn't very many other areas of the pitch you could look at. Shevchenko, unfortunately for Chelsea, has been a bit of a flop. Michael Ballack, without a doubt, has been a flop. And the opposite has happened here. In came Vidic, in came Evra. Took time to settle. One or two people were saying, well, are they good enough for Manchester United? I think you've just got to look at the improvement. And the improvement with those two in particular. You had the improvement on Ronaldo. There was improvement in Michael Carrick. And once again, you've got to look and say, manager, coaching staff, they managed to do it.
Certainly have. Great to see these scenes. United players really enjoying the celebrations. Brief quotes here from Alan Kirbishley after West Ham's victory today. Of course, that means they're safe in the Premiership. He says, let's be fair about it. Whatever the circumstances, to come to Manchester United and win is fantastic. I hope I never have to go through it again, and I hope West Ham never have to go through it again. We've been saying ever since I've been here, there was ability in the team. They showed that today, but United showed it over the season. The 38 games in the Premiership shown they are the best side in the country, and certain fans and players alike have said this is the most special. This Premiership win is the most special of the lot.
Well, I think they're all special in some way, David, but I think the manner in which we've gone about it and the way we've won it, I think that's been good. There's been good football, some great performances home and away. Spell of games where 4 goals, 5 goals, and even coming from behind, 2 behind at Everton, on to win by 4 goals in the second 45 minutes of a match. All those little things, I think, were taken for granted as United sat proudly top of the league. But you shouldn't do, because the goal scoring's been great, the way they've won games has been fantastic, and I don't think there's any doubt in terms of the best team winning the Premiership. Best team normally wins the Premiership. Doesn't apply to cup finals, unfortunately. Over the 38 games of the Premiership, the best team wins it. Simple as that.
And not just by getting the best results, Sammy, but also the way United have played this season, and the way they've beaten teams at times has been frightening, some of the football.
Well, the football's been frightening. It's been pace, exciting. I mean, the way Ronaldo and Rooney have performed, especially Ronaldo, they've scored goals, and goals is, as one as a competition. We've always talked about a tight back four and a good goalkeeper, but you've got to score goals to win games, and we have been the best at that as well.
And such a special day for the boss, picking up the 9th Premiership title, Lou. He was talking about resignation and things like that a few years ago, and he's come back, and retiring rather, and he's come back and done so well, hasn't he?
Well, when you've been as successful as he's had, David, here at Old Trafford and at Aberdeen, you're there to be shot at. And when the trophies don't start rolling in the way they have done in the past, people start questioning your ability. But they should never question his ability, because he's proved that he's done it. He is without a doubt the best manager Manchester United have ever had in terms of trophies. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. He's thorough in everything. He's here first thing in the morning at Carrington, probably last to leave some days, and he enjoys the job. And it's only when you don't enjoy the job do you pack up. And I don't see him packing up for a while yet.
So Matt Busby retired at 60, so Alex at 65, still going strong and looking to win more titles.
And still winning trophies. And why should he retire when he's got a young team like that? He's just been crowned champions. I tell you what, though, it's going to be some hard act to follow.
Impossible act, Sam, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
We see Cristiano Ronaldo there, obviously delighted with the way things have turned out this season. He had a lot of stick in the summer, didn't he? And he's come back and it's just made him into a better player.
Well, it was pleasing to see, David, because there was a start of the season, apart from can we win the title, can we do this, can we do that, it was what's the future for Cristiano Ronaldo? Will he come back? How can he train with Wayne Rooney? All these questions were being asked, and he's answered them, those questions. He's come back stronger, he's come back certainly quicker, or maybe it's defenders in the Premiership are getting slower, but I think he's got quicker. And of course he's added 20, you're going to tell me exactly how many goals he's added. Is it 23 or 24? 23 goals. And for a wide player, for a centre forward, it's great for a centre forward. It's even better for a wide player.
Celebrating there with the family and with the trophy, of course. When you think back of so many games, the United games we all thought were going to be very hard, the likes of Bolton and Tottenham away, games like that United then came out of the trap so fast and just blew the opposition away.
That's right, but there's also been games where you look at, Fulham, for example, last minute winners. We've done that quite a few times, and got the points. Not just a point, got all the points. And I think those are the games that sickened Chelsea. You know, and Chelsea have always been trying to play catch-up, but United have always been in control. Never panicked, because they've been in that situation before.
And that just shows the old adage about not just winning well, but sometimes just gritting out those 1-0s or just winning by a goal. As you say, places like Fulham where you just need to get the points.
Need to get the points, and maybe you come away from that game and say, well, we didn't deserve to win it. But the thing is, we did get the 3 points.
Lou, were there times for you when you thought that things were slipping away from United a bit this season? Or were you always confident?
No, I must say, David, I was always pretty confident they had enough to do the job. When you started seeing the goals coming from various areas of the pitch, the only time I was a little bit concerned when we picked up a lot of injuries. And without a back four, your regular back four, you start to think, well, could this be our undoing? Could it all go wrong now? Then players were coming in and playing out of position. But it didn't really stop us. We still were winning games. And that's where I think the credit's got to go to the manager and all the players. The fact that there was a lot of disruptions this year, maybe even more than last season, where we had a back four to start with, a settled back four, then all of a sudden in the space of a month everyone had sort of gone missing. I remember Darren Fletcher coming in at right back, and then John O'Shea moving somewhere else, and players playing way out of position. And I thought, well, a bit like the Chelsea situation when Essens moved into centre half, it isn't his position, and he's not as good a centre half as he is in the midfield, and it cost Chelsea. They lost Terry, everything went to pieces. They lost the goalkeeper, everything went to pieces. Didn't happen here at Old Trafford, thankfully.
Great to see so many family members getting involved in the celebrations today. Of course, United winning the league ahead of Chelsea, and a lot of people say that was the biggest achievement, if anything, if you like. I suppose when Chelsea signed Ballack and Shevchenko in the summer, some people started to get a bit worried.
Well, everyone took it for granted again that Chelsea were going to run away with it and we were going to be playing catch-up. But, you know, that probably was the best thing ever happened to us, Chelsea banned those players, because it's made unrest in the camp. Even Mourinho's come out and said that. So really it's backfired on Chelsea with all the money in the world, getting those type of people which you're going to have to spend millions of pounds to get. It's backfired on them. And we've just got on with the job. Great start. Chelsea, you play catch-up now, never did it.
Well, let's hear from the man who lifted the trophy. It's Gary Neville. He's with Steve.
Okay. Gary, you picked up your first Premiership trophy as captain. How does that feel?
It feels as good as the other ones, to be honest with you. It's just important that the club win the Premier League, and everyone's delighted, and it's a long time since we've done that, and it needs to happen more and more.
Absolutely. 4 years waiting. Did it make you even more determined to experience these celebrations again?
Yeah, definitely, because there were times in the last 3 years when we felt really low and we were inconsistent at times and didn't deserve to be champions, but this season we deserve to be champions, and we would say today is a fantastic day for everybody at the club.
How important is it to savour these moments as well?
It is important to savour the moment, but we've got a big game next Saturday and we celebrate tonight. We've had a great week, but the focus at Man United is to move on, and we have to think about our FA Cup final now next Saturday and make it a really special season.
You going to be there?
I hope so. I'll be there. I'm not going to be playing.
On the pitch?
I hope so.
Okay, well done today, guys.
Thank you.
Gary Neville there talking to Steve. 540 games for United now, 7 goals for Gary Neville, and great to see him lift the Premiership title, of course. It's, I suppose, is the highlight of a player's career to win the domestic league? Is that how you look at it sometimes?
I think the highlights, David, are winning any trophy. None of them are easy to win nowadays, and if you get there and you manage to do it, this is your reward. Great celebrations. I mean, I was never fortunate enough at Old Trafford to win what is now the Premiership. So it was Wembley, and winning at Wembley, it'll be interesting to see what the lads say next Saturday night at this time if we won the cup. It's there, it happens for you on the day, and you get your reward on the day. And sometimes this is a bit of an anti-climax. A couple of weeks after you've won the title, you're getting the trophy, but that on the day at Wembley, I don't know what Sam thinks, but I don't think you can beat that. And they get their opportunity next week.